Questions for you. Tell me, do you want to live in a mere province of an undemocratic empire run from Brussels? No. Well, good, because I don't either. And do you want to live in a country that has no... I think that's him upstairs saying no. But do you want to live in a country that has no control of its borders in respect of 500 million citizens of 27 other countries, and that is even now lobbying to extend free movement rights to 75 million Turkish nationals by getting their country into the EU as well? No. Good, because I don't either. And do you want to live in a country that has a Supreme Court that is in fact not supreme at all, but junior to the European Court of Justice in Luxembourg and the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg? No. Good, because I don't either. I must say you're awfully good at getting the right answers to these multiple choice questions. So let's try a couple more. Do you want to live in a country that no longer sends £10 billion a year net to Brussels, but instead makes that money available to fund key public services like the NHS? Yes. Good, because I do too. And do you want to live in a country that can make its own laws and control its own borders, and that is able at last to implement an Australian-style points-based system for immigration? Good, I do as well. And finally, do you think our great country is good enough to be a global trading nation reconnected to the Anglosphere and the Commonwealth, yet still buying and selling with our continental neighbours, but in charge of our own affairs and our own destiny? Yes. And good, I do as well. We're on the brink of an historic choice in Britain, a choice that may determine what kind of nation we live in, or even if we are a nation at all, for the rest of my lifetime and for many of yours. And here in the east of England, I would say more than almost anywhere else in Britain, we know a pig in a poke when we see one. We can see the misery that the political folly of the Eurozone has wreaked across southern Europe. And we can see how the political folly of the Schengen area has opened up citizens in France, in Sweden and elsewhere to the nightmare of political extremism. We can see what the common fisheries policy has done to our once thriving East Coast fishing ports. And we can feel how uncontrolled immigration from the EU has put our housing and our schools and our GP surgeries under strain. And we know that our country can do better than this. Being inside the EU for Britain is like being in a prison that has an ever more restrictive regime, dictating almost every aspect of our lives. Well, guess what? Because of our campaigning efforts, UKIP's campaigning efforts, and in particular Nigel Farage's campaigning efforts, the prison authorities have been forced to announce that they will be opening the gates for one day only on June the 23rd this year. They will spend every day until June the 23rd telling you that you'd better stay inside, that you're not good enough to be free. But all we have to do, all you have to do, is to choose to walk out through those gates before they are slammed shut again, to choose freedom and self-determination. So let's do it. Let us show our faith in a land described by William Shakespeare as a precious stone set in a silver sea. Let us make June the 23rd, United Kingdom Independence Day. And let us hear tonight the powerful arguments for why we should be saying no to the EU. Thank you.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.